What's up, Devin?
Howdy, howdy.
How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good.
You just had an amazing experience hitting the road
Yes.
with Digital Religion, and you took your work ethic down to the Art Basel. Is it Basel?
I think it's Basil.
I'll never say it correctly.
It's okay.
The Art Basel experience, I'll call it. For those people who don't know, succinctly tell me what Art Basel is from the vantage point of a digital creator.
From a digital creator. So overall, from my understanding, Art Basel is basically this kind of like week-long art festival. People from all over the country, all over the world, we're all coalescing into Miami, Florida, and displaying art, music, fashion, business.
Yep.
And
there's literature proponent,
absolutely,
art
absolutely.
exchange. Do you know how long Art Basel's been around? I didn't even.
That I do not know.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, it's been around 3 years.
Right,
Because that's how long I've been
That's
going.
how many times you've ascended on this amazing place. So your connection is large in part due to a relationship that you have with Fantana.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about Brian and how you guys collaborate and made this happen this time of year.
Of course, yeah, longtime collaborator. Me and Fantana met probably on a music basis in 2018. Started making stuff together. Through COVID, we did our Car Chronicles series where he
Right.
produced probably like 85% of the beats for that. So hundreds and hundreds of audio recordings released between me and him.
Right.
Also albums and EPs. So our relationship is long and storied. He moved down to Miami, I'd say maybe like 5 years ago,
Okay.
and has been going to Art Basel every single year. I've been included for the last 3 years, and we've done events, like official Art Basel events, for the last 2.
So he is Miami by way of Chicago, but his sound, his experience is mostly formulated as a Midwest artist of all sorts, correct?
Probably couldn't have said that better. That was perfect.
Yeah. He has a QC connection, a graduate from Augustana.
Absolutely.
And for you, going with a person who has that intense interest in kind of expounding out of the Midwest and showing that Midwest spirit in a new space, what was your first take on Art Basel in terms of walking into your first event that day?
I think being from the Midwest and here in the Quad Cities, that like small town mentality, the just narrow perspective of what the world is, being able to go to a big city like Miami,
Yep.
It just shows me how much more is going on out there. Not that there aren't things going on here, but to get a fuller and richer experience of what the current art space is, you got to travel. You got to meet people and you got to hear their stories, So being able to go to Miami with Brian, if I'm remembering the question.
Right on.
It's just to go out there and to experience more and to let other people experience us.
The existential experience for you is going as videographer, but more so going as a creator who happens to be behind the lens.
Yes.
So you kind of candidly describe the Art Basel experience as a very dual type of setup.
Yeah.
There's this very, and I won't say classy because there's something less than classy. I'll just to draw a comparison.
Hey, and you know what? Classy doesn't always mean better. We
There
can call
go.
it classy.
Okay, so there's the classy, more maybe almost hodgepodge money machine.
Yeah.
This is what Art Basel's supposed to be movement.
The face of it, I guess.
Yep, and then there's the reality. There's the underground.
Yes.
There's the pulse. There's the
Yes.
people. There's the connectivity. Tell us about that underground booming scene at Lucky Records.
And that's where my experience of Art Basel has been for the last 3 years, is going to Lucky, being in Wynwood, seeing the true independent get it out the mud artists kind of come together, and whether it be in a venue, at a record shop like us,
Right.
In an open gallery space, or even on the side of the road, with their art supplies, live painting for people as they walk by. There's this right side, and then there's the left side, and to be over here with the independent artists, I mean, I think that's the true Art Basel experience when you're with the underground.
Even within the underground, you've got figures like A.A. Rashid, right? Tell us a little bit about him on camera. He's seems very eclectic,
Yes.
a very vibrant person.
Yes.
Tell us what that was like with encountering him in that space and doing the, I would say, kind of the transaction of collector items and things like that.
So to be associated with A.A. Rashid via Fantan,
Right.
you know, they're in this world of collectors with physical items, physical music, vinyl CDs, etc. You know, he is an associate of West Side Gun, who's from the underground, a pretty mainstream
Right.
artist in our world of kind of like grimy, dusty, breakbeat style hip hop. So to be at an event that is involving him, for us and for Fantana, it's a big deal.
There's a cool 6 degrees of separation, it sounds like, with a lot of these people that you're
Absolutely.
interacting with. Not that we're going to take anything away from anyone's unique relationship, but, you know, this is the place that the legacy, you mentioned Virgil. Virgil's a Midwest legend
Yeah.
in fashion. Art iconicized, but music too,
Yeah.
because of the heritage with Kanye. So how do you find the storytelling happen in those spaces with those people who are there? They're wearing the fashion, but they're also living the culture and out loud.
Absolutely. I mean, to be not only, you know, across the room or face to face or shaking hands with, but to begin to be on a first name basis
Right.
with people that have such kind of like regal connections in the art, music, and fashion world. I mean, it just goes to show how far you can go when you step outside of your home, of your hometown, of your comfort zone, and begin to kind of have conversations with these people
But in some way, don't you take Watertown with you?
everywhere.
Why is it important to artists like you and Franco East and other names that are becoming more of the sought after artists versus the ones seeking artists? How do you take Watertown with you? Why is that important for you to do that?
Of course, I mean, I think it just comes down to, you know, what is the art? Every song, every album, every piece of clothing and merchandise, Watertown, East Moline, Quad Cities, it's all incorporated.
Right.
It's all acknowledged, and you know, in every conversation. You know, I've seen artists from this area give interviews where they say they're from Chicago, as if that had some sort of higher social credit.
It don't.
And it's like, I'm from where I'm from, and I know for a fact that it has had such an impact on me to be from here, raised here, and to make art here. And I have to just talk about it everywhere I go. It's the only way I know.
What is the big deal about vinyl? What is the big deal about those collector legacy pieces that you are beginning to have maybe not so much an interest in obtaining, but recognizing and seeing how that world kind of works together?
And you know, I'm still wrapping my head around it. This
Okay.
is this collector's market, these sought after items, these high priced jewels. You know, this is definitely Fantana's world that he's inserted himself into and now making a name in. You know, when it comes to vinyl records and art and beyond, he's always been a collector.
Right.
At first, he was more of an observer, more of a participant, rather than a creator and a label owner in this space. So he's always collected records and
Okay.
music, and him kind of coming to that realization as an artist, I can do this too. I can make art that people would respect and that other people would want to collect of mine. So
When you showed me that spread, you mentioned that there was this unique thing I was looking at called an Obi strip.
Yes.
When they watch the footage, they'll see that's kind of indicative of all of the cassettes, or excuse me, the vinyl product.
yeah, both.
What is the takeaway for you from something that is quite simplistic in nature, but somehow still profound in what it creates with credibility?
So for us at Fantana Records, all of our Obi strips are designed by Chris Grober, aka CG Records, aka Archtech Records, who's based in St. Louis. He is an Obi strip designer. It's a really niche thing.
Okay.
But for the collector's market, it's just a big signifier of its collectability.
Yes.
If you're making an Adele vinyl, they're selling those in all the stores, in Walmart, thousands and thousands of copies, not necessarily a collector's item.
Right.
Now, when you're an independent artist who's making good quality music and art, and there's only, 25 printed, 10
Absolutely.
printed, only 2 prints of this particular variant or copy, it's a lot harder to obtain, which increases its value.
Right.
So
some of those were even signed by the independent artists, musicians,
That's
and
right.
so on. What parallels do you draw to your type of music and your craft and that kind of welcoming that you experienced when you went down to Miami and was in those collaborative spaces?
Oh, if I understand the question, it's just all about practice. It's
Yeah.
all about practice and confidence. I've been doing it for so long, longer than I can give myself credit for.
Okay.
And the confidence that I have in my ability to show up and show out is there.
Right.
So whether it's here in the QC at an event or if it's down in Miami, my ability to walk in, perform my skill, exemplify my art is there. I believe in it, and other people see it, so they believe in it.
I tried to say that Art Basel on the underground side was about the loyal fan base, but you said it's more about crossover and creating collaborative opportunities.
Yes.
Tell us what does that mean?
In our case in particular, doing an event with A.A. Rashid, there's going to be a lot of West Side Gun fans and people that are fans of that world that are showing up for us. And to step into those spaces and to get the acknowledgement and the respect and the curiosity from that fan base,
Right.
from a purely visual perspective, it's showing an audience that this fan base sees us and feels us.
Yeah.
And to know that if you're a fan of them, you're going to like us too. And that kind of collaboration is what our Art Basel experience is all about.
One thing that you kind of attributed to A.A. Rashid and why he's become this curator and staple figure in the Art Basel scene is because he himself makes an effort to be well-traveled and express himself through like trinkets and
Yes.
an accumulation of sorts of unique pieces of independent art, music, whatever the collective may be. Why is that necessary in today's music and cultural landscape?
I mean,
That might be a loaded question.
it's a big question, but I see where I'm going to go.
Okay.
When you're looking at the mainstream, when you're looking at the current state of hip hop, of pop music, of art consumption, people are so tired. People are so tired. Everything is so pumped out at a rapid pace. The burnout of social media. We just had that moment just recently where they didn't even have a hip hop song in the top 40 for a whole week.
As we shouldn't, because
That's
it's
wrong.
pretty. It's not that it's wrong. I think it's the wrong artist would be placed in those spaces when the real work that's happening is in spaces like Art Basel.
And that's exactly where I'm going with it, is that when people come to events, come to these large scale events like Art Basel, you're coming to the real people. This isn't fluff, this is grind, and it's hard work, and it's authenticity.
Right.
So for people to come and not only see our collections, but people like A.A. Rashid and other people that were at our events, they're seeing things that were acquired with humanity,
Intention,
with intention.
support.
Yeah.
That's something that I kind of drawed from the visual proponent in making all these names connect to each other. Because, I don't know Fantana, but now I have a better understanding of, this Midwest person who is the culture still.
Yes.
And he is a prime example of the culture moving forward, but also we kind of talked about this authenticity on display. what does authenticity look like in spaces that are not tampered with? And so that's, for me, that's what I got from watching the visual. You said one of your priorities going down was to really grow in your street photography.
Yes.
Some of the glimpses that we're gonna see, tell us just what's your thought process going into those days?
You know, speaking on last year, right? I didn't have my photography chops up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I definitely was running around with the camera. We did a lot of cool recap videos of the things that we did. But as far as photography goes, I wasn't down there trying to make art from a photo perspective. So on this trip, I really wanted to see people, see celebrities, meet celebrities, try and do some portraits. That didn't work out. But to be...
You're like, that didn't happen.
Didn't happen at all. But
Okay.
to be in the streets, I really wanted to have my eyes open for interactions, for expressions, for moments that I could capture to make photo art. And I feel like I definitely found that. And it has me in a new space of a new height of motivation to continue to pursue street photography than before.
Did it give you clarity? Because now you see that that's a direction you're kind of, I don't know if meant to, that might be a strong suggestion.
And I don't know if clarity is the right word.
Okay.
I think in, you know, continuing to experiment with street photography, whether it's outside sources telling me so, I know internally I'm getting a feeling of satisfaction and fulfillment from these styles of pictures. And it just builds the curiosity to want to continue and see what street photography really means to me.
I almost feel like that spontaneity,
Yeah.
that's a fun word. That spontaneity, that true hip hop grit, that ability to demand collaborative connectivity. That is the direction that hip hop as art should be going in.
I like that.
What do you want your contribution to be?
To what?
To the forward movement of, I don't know, capturing real culture, capturing real authenticity, capturing, authenticity on display or art as oddity.
I would say it, and you know, I love the moment that this conversation is happening. This is December of 2025. I'm coming up on a full year of doing digital religion full time.
Okay.
And, you know, to be able to reflect on the year that I've had, the artists that I've been able to work with, and even beyond artists, you know, just the personalities and individuals and the work that I've been able to capture this year, it is documentation. To go a little deeper, my grandpa is from a small village in Mexico where the documentation of their history lacked. There are no books. There are no history books for his village.
Right.
And in his age, he's begun to write his own books and recollect, you know, points in their history so it can be written, right?
Yep.
And that kind of touched me in a way where it's like, who's documenting what we're doing?
Right.
You know, because there are people that capture the attention of the news here in this area of, you know, the eyes.
Sure.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're saying.
But who's documenting us?
It's like,
and I got to a point where I had to say, it's got to be me.
Yes.
If it's not me, it's not being done.
Yeah.
Or it's not being done correctly.
It's not being done correctly. That's where I'm going to kind of chime in and say, I think hearing you revisit that frame of thought, that is literally what my sense of urgency was. Devin, the first time I ever did this, no one captured it. There's no evidence. I got to do it better this time. And doing it better in our world means capturing it in real time as the history. The history is literally being created right now.
And I don't want to go too crazy with it, but if we're talking about like meaning, if we're talking about like what is somebody's purpose, what is the meaning of life, to be able to interact with people and leave a positive exchange, to be able to leave somebody feeling better after our interaction, you can't beat that. So to be able to work with you, work with Fantan and Franco, and the long list of people that I've been able to do work for this year and last year, to know that not only am I building my brand, my face, my clientele, but I'm capturing moments that people can live in and revisit and build from for the rest of their lives. And what that means to them, that means so much to me.
Do you agree that it creates a necessary credibility?
I think,
or is maybe, or we don't need it?
Credibility might be an interesting word to use, but I think when people feel my authenticity and intention with the camera, it's so hard for people to work with me and then go back to working with who they were working with before.
That's because you're incredible.
And look, I'm not tooting my own horn like that, but the amount of times that I've heard, it has to be you. That's got to mean something.
Yeah, that's what I mean about creating credibility. I'm not even so much saying you're creating it for the people that you shoot for. I'm saying that you're actually leveraging your own craft as a source to a means.
Yeah.
And within that, you are essentially creating credibility for other people, just like the Obi strips, right?
Yeah,
that
wow.
creates that exclusivity. That creates that, hey, when you see this, this is what that means. So when a person is ready to elevate and really be authenticity on display, if D. Martell of Digital Religion isn't filming it, then you don't really have the stamp that you're moving forward to be authentic on display.
That's a crazy connection that my handprint logo is the Obi strip of the QC.
It really is. It really is. And I'm just glad that I already knew that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, but back to what we were talking about, and I'm sure we're going to wrap it up. I do think that, having the physical product is literally what the AA Rashids are there for, right? He's there to say, yeah, I am art in motion. I am the collector spirit, but I'm also inspiring others to take ownership of what this means to them, what their takeaways are. And so if you could maybe just almost as a message to next year and where you see this thing going, tell the people where are we going? How's this translate into the newness of the season that's coming upon us?
You asked me earlier what my greatest takeaway was from this trip that I just had, and I'll bring it back here. It's drops in a bucket. You know what I mean? When you keep adding drops, your bucket will continue to fill. For the people that are movers and doers, you will see progress if you keep moving. Every step is forward progression, or it's a lesson. And I would say for next year and for the future, you can expect us to keep moving. You can expect us to keep experimenting and keep trying and keep networking to grow. Because, as far as our scene goes, the people who are going to see progress and the people who are going to be remembered are the movers and the doers.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Art Basel, the Digital Religion experience. I can't wait to see the finished product. And then, of course, shout out to Fantana for being that gate over water and really creating some symbiotic relationships for the Midwest to be connected to the larger world.
And just to get this on camera, I need a conversation for you two.
Okay.
I need you to meet him. I mean, he is a name, not to, how do I want to say it? Everyone should know him.
Okay.
Everyone should know him.
We said it first.
As you can imagine the network that I've built with my camera.
Yeah.
That's what he's done with his beats, with his art, and with his curation. And you name your favorite rapper here in the QC, he's done something with them.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's maybe what's up next. Sitting down with Digital Religion, always a pleasure. We're going to keep focusing on the future, but that authenticity on display, we're going to coin that. I think that's something that you do so well.
Thank you.
I think that it inspires people when they do get on the other side of your lens to be their most authentic self, and that is not normal. That's what makes you rare. So keep up the good work, man.
Hey, thank you so much.
All right, what's up?
Oh.